everybody, welcome to Tent Talk. I'm Cat Fields White. And normally you'd hear somebody say, and I'm Bridget Myers, but she's busy. National Farmers Market Week started yesterday, and like a lot of you, she's got her hands full. She's trying to make it a big celebration. She's trying to do everything she can to honor the farmers and the vendors that make our markets thrive. They're doing some really fun things at her markets in Little Italy, writing notes to farmers, sending notes of appreciation to vendors, letting the customers join in with that. She's trying to tell folks to pick out something specific instead of just saying thank you and say, hey, you know what? You're the best at parallel parking your truck behind your booth every day. Hey, you know what's wonderful about you? You always work with the new vendors and give them a hand up. It's so fun to see what people are coming up with to talk to each farmer and vendor at her market. Love what she's doing. We've seen tons of other really fun activities that farmers market managers have planned that are starting to carry out. You know, the celebration goes all week, so we'll be seeing a lot of fun things happening at markets all over the country from now through next Saturday. And you know what? If you got a market next Sunday, feel free to expand it. We think Farmers Market Week should go all year. We'll be keeping it going ourselves. So there's a lot going on this week. We know everybody's busy with all of this, so this is going to be sort of a short episode, but we did want to tune in and let you know about all kinds of interesting things that are happening this month. We'll talk a little bit more about Farmers Market Week in a few minutes with one of our guests. Intense, the Farmers Market Conference, is zooming along already because, hey, have you noticed it's already August? What the heck happened to 2024? So we've jumped in. We're getting ready for next March, which honestly isn't that far away. That's kind of scary when I say it aloud like that. So a couple of important things are happening this month related to the Intense Conference. The request for proposals is open now, and we've already gotten, I think, 10 really wonderful proposals for talks. We're going to see how those all fit together into our schedule, but we're not doing that until the end of the month when the request for proposals closes. We're going to wait and see all the good ideas that y'all have, and then we're going to figure out how many of them we can fit into 3 full days in San Diego when we all get together in March. If you have a terrific idea, or if you've seen a speaker somewhere that you know is amazing and talking about farmers markets, food systems, what we do for a living, marketing, email expert, does anybody out there understand how to really manage MailChimp? Because we'd love to hear about it. Fit into any of those categories or know somebody that does? Jump online, go to conferencerfp.com, or hop over to the Farmers Market Pros website and click that little button that says RFP is open now. Fill out the proposal form, read the instructions first. You get a lot of tips in there about what fits well into our schedule, what we're looking for in a proposal, what we're not looking for in a proposal, and what would make you win a spot on that schedule, because it's going to be a great schedule. Speaking of which, just this last week, end of the week, Thursday, Super Early Bird tickets just opened. There's a limited number of those because budgets, but there are some amazing deals in the Super Early Bird sale. You can save a full $150 on the Learn and Grow ticket, which is the ticket that gives you full 3-day access live and in person to the conference in San Diego. There's also discounts on Listen and Learn tickets where you join us virtually. There's some great deals on Three's Company if you want to bring your whole team, the Big Tent ticket, and exciting and different this year, there's a special ticket that's discounted right now with all the rest doing Super Early Bird just for farmers and vendors. So this is only good if you're a market farmer or a market vendor, and it's a 1-day ticket. We know that farmers and vendors in the past have had a little bit of a tricky time getting to San Diego and spending 3 days. I mean, it's lambing season for some of y'all. I know that happens. So if you can make it here for 1 day, we're going to have a special track just for you. We're going to have experts on labeling, on value-added products to increase your margin, on marketing tips and techniques and how to do that when we know you've got a really tiny amount of time. Lots of things that apply just to you. You'll also get to mingle it up with the rest of us to talk about farmers market advocacy and maybe even get involved in the farmers market games. We're going to talk more about that in a month or so. All right, let's switch gears for a minute. Another exciting thing that's happened this month, the American Farmland Trust America's Farmers Market Celebration just wrapped up, and we have a winner, and we're going to talk to her right now. Are you excited? Join us as we have a little chat with Erica Meadows from the Mount Washington Farmers Market in Mount Washington, Kentucky. Welcome, Erica.
Thank you. Thank you very much for having me.
So great to have you on. You're the Farmers Market Manager at Mount Washington, right?
That's correct.
And how long have you been there?
This is my second season with the Mount Washington Farmers Market. My first season as manager, but my second altogether.
Well, you really know how to come in strong when in the America's Farmers Market celebration. And we all know that that is hard to call it the best farmers market in America when you win that prize, because we know that the best farmers market is the one closest to you.
Right?
But
Exactly.
you certainly are the one that attracted the most votes from people who love your market. And you did it by a long shot this year. You've got over 10,000 votes. The second place winner is at about 4,500. So you really zoomed ahead here. What's the Mount Washington Farmers Market like? What made people so excited that that many people voted for it?
So we've always had a really big community presence there. But I think one of the things that really helps is that we have an event, like a theme for every single market. We might be a little bit uniquely positioned because the city is who runs, the city of Mount Washington runs our farmers market. I'm a city employee. And
Oh,
so we have allocated funds through community development that helps us to really make the market just really big. I mean, of course, our farmers and our vendors are the most important aspect, but we're able to provide a lot of free activities and things to our community to just help our community out with, alongside the farmers and the vendors. So I think that really helps to pull in a lot of people.
how big is your community? Are you?
So we're not huge, but we are definitely growing. We're very close to Louisville, Kentucky. I
Oh,
mean,
okay.
literally just 5 miles down the road. So
Oh,
although we're still pretty urban, we're very close to the big city. So
got it. Okay. So do you think, shoppers from your own community, but also from Louisville or any of the other surrounding communities?
we certainly do. Yeah, Bardstown, Kentucky, Bloomfield, Taylorsville, Kentucky, Shepherdsville, and Louisville. So we do have like we're essentially located around, all of these kind of larger cities, and it really does help. And we market to those cities as well. So that we're constantly. One of my first things I did is, joining the market as the manager is, just learning all of my community social medias and joining them and following them and trying to have a presence with them. So I think that's definitely helped for sure.
Yeah, that's amazing. Sometimes with cities, we have seen market managers get frustrated because the city has a communications or a marketing department and they want to control the market, Instagram and such, and they don't love it like the manager does. Do you get pretty free reign on the social media for the market?
Yeah, so we have a team between community development. Of course, the director of community development is my direct overhead. But we have employees from Parks and Rec and Public Works and just volunteers too, who come together as a team, and they definitely hand me the reins and let me do what I need to do, and all the planning, all of that kind of stuff, all the social media is done through me. But of course, then I have like my checks too. So yeah, I'm for the most part, everything is me. But if it comes to like budgeting and things like that, that comes from the city, from my director, Jessica Thornton. So
Which is lovely to have city funding. We like that. That
it's
makes the
it's
market
very
make,
nice.
yeah, makes the market a bit easier. Just
Yeah.
quickly, the nuts and bolts. What day is your market and what time? And then are you all year or do you have a season?
Sure. So we're open every Tuesday from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. and every Saturday from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. We start the first Saturday of June every year and we go until mid-September. So this year we end September 14th and then we end with our big farm to table event. So, that's really lovely. I mean, I have a lot of vendors who really want us to do all year. It's something that we have thought about and maybe one day we'll get to, but at this point, it's just for that kind of summer right into fall season.
That's great. And it's lovely to hear that your farmers and vendors want to go longer. I mean, that's the goal, right? Is that we get people to shop for groceries at farmers markets all year long and make
Yes.
that their first choice and their habit. What's your average number of farmers and vendors on a given market day?
So we all together with our farmers and our regular vendors, we have about set 27 on average. Give or take, depending on the events that we have and things like that, we may add more, or for like National Farmers Markets Week and things like that, we kind of invite, because we have some who do both, like Tuesday and Saturday, and then we have some that are strictly just Tuesday, strictly just Saturday. But on our bigger events like that, we like to kind of invite everybody in and see, if they want to participate, they can. So it's not, it's not always just set like that, but 27 is about our average.
Got it. And that's a nice size market. Do you expect that you might get some expansion now that you're going to be all famous and all with this big
We,
prize? Do
for
you
sure,
have room to
we,
expand?
so some of what we want to do with that money is to expand. We definitely have, we're very lucky because the city owns a huge pavilion that we're able to utilize for the farmers market. But the church next to us is First Baptist Church. They have a huge parking lot. I mean, it's enormous. And so we use that for parking and for like our bigger events where we have to set up other things, or like when we're inviting like our hometown heroes, police, fire, all that in there. So we definitely have the space to expand. And I was looking at a lot of the other markets, and I was like, some of these are really huge. Like, I don't know why we've limited ourselves all this time. So I do think that, next year, I think we will push to expand that. We definitely have lots of people on our waiting list who would love to get in there. And so, as long we don't, I think one of our biggest things is we don't want to cause a lot of competition because we're we've built such a good family feel in there. I mean, even our own families come up and volunteer and help us to work. A lot of our families do. So we don't want it to be competitive, and not negatively competitive anyway, and so I think that's one of the biggest things that we just want to watch and make sure that it doesn't get so large that it becomes disconnected.
Yeah, my guess is, though, especially with this prize and with the work that you've done to get yourself to the point where you could get so many votes and win, it sounds like you're going to have a lot of shoppers. So shoppers like choices, and I think your farmers and vendors will find, if they don't know this already, that the more you add to a market, the more choices there are, the more customers will come on a regular basis, come to the market first instead of going to the grocery store and see what y'all have. So we find that even though it sounds like if you got two tomato farmers and you make that four, that they won't do as well, we find that oftentimes that just moves the market forward, makes it a stronger place, and they all do better. So
Yeah.
we will love to keep an eye on you and watch and see if you decide to grow after this. What did you do? Anything specific that you did that you think was effective in terms of getting the word out about the contest and encouraging people to vote?
Yeah, I can tell you what we did differently this year. We had QR codes already, made up for that would link you directly to our voting page. Because last year we had like iPads set up and things like that where people could come up and vote. But when they did that, like we were still kind of new to AFT, so trying to just kind of navigate each time to that page was it was a learning process. It was just a really big learning process. And so to streamline that, if you can make a Bitly code, QR code, and just link it directly to your web page for that voting page, then that really helped to streamline things. A lot of the older crowd, either didn't use their phones that way or didn't know how to scan QR codes and things like that. But if they bring their phones up or whatever, we can do it there. We take emails there. And I would say besides, I think hyping it up I would take screenshots of where we were in the running for it and posted that all over our community pages, not just our personal like Facebook pages and Instagram pages, but like all our local community pages, and look how close we are. We just really need your support and that kind of thing. I mean, a lot of people were just very excited to see that a local market was, getting that far up in the running. And so that really helped to give us that huge push forward. But one of the other things that we really did this year was, as a group, we just try to figure out what we could do to really boost us, because it is hard to get votes. It is hard to get people to, they come and they shop and they love the market, but it's hard to get people to take time to, do anything else because they're already busy. But one of the biggest things we did was we would do lots of giveaways. We would do market swag. So we did lots of giveaways, and we would say, hey, we'll give you an extra ticket if you'll vote right here. And so that really helps. So having the QR code right there while they're putting in their names for a drawing, like, hey, vote and we'll give you an extra entry. That was perfect. So that helped huge amount. So, just a little tidbit there. Yes. For anybody else who's looking to definitely get ahead there.
Yeah, that sounds smart. And I think the idea of using other community pages, not just the market, is helpful. And that sort of has, you win two ways there because you're getting votes, but you're also maybe introducing people who watch those other pages and not necessarily yours to the idea that there's a farmer's market there. Did you see
Yes.
an uptick in customers during your campaign?
Yes, not just that, but just a huge amount of new people to like who have joined, like followed our page. So yeah, that has definitely helped. I think you don't normally. I know I never really before I got involved thought that there's just farmer market social media pages that you could follow and learn more about it. And so we do lives and all of that stuff on our pages. But then we take those lives and we push them out to other community pages. And that really, I mean, in the last 90 days alone, I've gotten over like 1,500 new followers to our page. So, I mean,
That's
that's
great.
really helpful.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Makes so much sense. Um, so you've made it. You're the one. You're the winner. Any plans you have already for the prize money? Because American Farmland Trusts, they've got some hefty prize money associated with this contest now.
Yeah. So we won $5,000. And um, while we haven't exactly like pinned, okay, we're doing this for this and this, this much, this, we do know the one thing that we want to do is be able to increase our community outreach because that's one thing that my heart is anyway, is, because I mean, if you can get the community involved by meeting them right where they are, and then they come into the market because you're offering things that they need or that, interest them, then, they're supporting your farmers and your vendors and all that. And I mean, it's just a win-win for everybody, really. And I mean, I think that's probably another really, really, it's thing, just something that really makes us unique is, being owned by the city and having that kind of fundage. I mean, it's not huge by any means, but just having that there really helps us to meet our community where they are and bring them in and get them involved. And I think that is really special. I mean, um, one of the things that we already kind of talked about is making sure that we have a lot more. We have activities at every market, but having more things or we have like our kids club, being able to expand that. We were only able to take 50 kids this year, where they earn carrot bucks, to spend at the market, things like that. We only had the funds to do 50 kids, but we want to expand that. There were a lot more kids who wanted to join. Now we can do that. Those kind of things really help to bring families in and it makes it fun. So
Oh, yeah, that's amazing. That's a terrific use of that money. And then expanding overall so that you can serve more farmers and vendors if you get a wait list. Be lovely to get some of those folks off the wait
absolutely.
list and then be able to attract more customers. It's kind of that chicken and egg thing for sure. So just
Yes.
to wrap up, what brought the celebration to your attention and why did you decide to participate? And what do you think is important about this contest?
Okay, so that one's probably a little bit hard as far as what brought it to our attention because we had a wonderful market manager prior to me who I was kind of under her wing and learned so much from her. She was really amazing in getting our market organized and, bringing new programs and fresh things in. She's the one who joined AFT last year and got us involved in that. So I kind of just when I took over, it was already something that we were, involved in and I knew about and, we did last year. And so we were just really in that. It was really a cool competition for us to do and something that made all the vendors want to push and strive to, to just improve our market and to add new things. And it makes you want to increase what you're doing to, and offer into the community to see where you could get and like, how much involvement you really are getting. And um, one of the good things about this, the celebration itself is that it continues to make you strive to do better, and also not just that, but the involvement that I've had with other markets, just even finding out who they are and where they're at, and looking at their pages and following them and learning new ideas from them and just seeing how they have things set up. I mean, it's just one of those things that the engagement with each other, but also the engagement with the community, it just increases all of that. And then, of course, the prize money itself, really helps you to be able to do some things that you've wanted to do that you haven't ever been able to try before. So I think that that's a really great way to keep the markets relevant
Excellent. Yeah, really brings them to people's attention. We appreciate American Farmland Trust for putting this program together and giving everybody a shot. Love to see you come in ahead this year. I know, I think you're not allowed to win 2 years in a row, so you're going to have to take a breath, drop
I
back
know.
a little bit. But it's lovely to see how you progressed with being the state winner last year and then going to the national winner this year. That's exciting, and
Wow.
really appreciate you taking time with us here. Be sure to tune into Tent Talk so you stay connected to all those other markets. And nice talking to you, Erica. And
See you later,
again,
guys.
congratulations and have such a good time spending that money.
Thank you so much. See you all later.
Well, that was fascinating. The Mount Washington, Kentucky Farmers Market is not an enormous market. They don't have a gigantic budget. So that was really interesting hearing how they managed to just pull it together, pull the magic out of the hat, and become the big winner. And it'll be fun to see what they do with that prize money and how they advance from here. So, what else do we want to talk about this month? Of course, National Farmers Market Week. And who better to chat with than our friend and regular podcast guest, Sadrina. We're going to see what's new in her area of the Farmers Market Coalition. You know, she's with Sage D Consulting. She's got a lot going on, but part of what she does is kind of lead the charge with the Farmers Market Anti-Racist Toolkit and its associated efforts. And so we're going to talk to her a little bit about what she's doing in terms of National Farmers Market Week, what she's hearing from folks, and we're going to talk about what you can do during August's National Black Business Month for just a minute. So welcome, Sadrina.
Hi.
Nice to see you as always.
Thank you. Same. Good to see you, Kat.
What's new at National Farmers Market Coalition for National Farmers Market Week? What kind of things have you been hearing? What do you have up your sleeve?
Yeah, well, I mean, we definitely have spent the summer just thinking about relationships. That's been our big focus at FMC as it relates to, how do we take this work of helping people find places of belonging and helping markets be places of belonging. We definitely realize that so much of it is in building strong partnerships and developing really strong relationships. So that's what we've been working on. We kicked that off with our Juneteenth campaign and continued that with some really special work that we did with HBCUs, historically Black colleges and universities that are also 1890s institutions, which means that they are land-grant universities that were particularly considered to support Black students that wanted to pursue careers in agriculture. And many of them are starting farmers markets, or a few of them, I should say, are starting farmers markets. And we have just been thrilled to be a part of that and to host some convenings around it.
Oh, that's wonderful. Are they doing farmers markets on the campuses, or they do them in the communities near the campuses? What does that look like?
Yeah, so that's one of the things that's really exciting about it is that the separation on HBCU campuses and the community is not as significant as it may be, generally speaking, with other colleges and universities. So, there's not as much of a division between is it happening on campus or is it happening in the community? But we are looking at how do we make sure that we are pulling in conversation from the community, and also how are we reaching out beyond wherever the market is located in that particular community. How are we making sure that we're reaching as many spaces and as many people as we can?
Oh, that's excellent. Is that mostly southeast part of the country, or are they all over?
No, they're almost they're not almost, they are situated in the southeast specifically. And so yes, we have a wonderful relationship with many of the academics and the folks that are leading the charge in these spaces, as well as other entities in the USDA that support the work. Several associations have also supported the work. The Virginia Farmers Market Association has worked a lot with Virginia State University, for example. So there's really kind of a lot of things happening in the South. But yes, it is the 1890s schools are all in the South.
Exciting. I know the Virginia State University and BAFMA are working together on the Mid-Atlantic Farmers Market Conference. I'm going to be a keynote there in November, and I've been talking to them, and they're doing some good things there for folks on that side of the country.
Oh, I'm going to be there too. I'll be speaking as well.
All
Yay.
right. How do we keep ending up in all the same places?
It's a small community.
It is a small community, but we're big fish in this little tiny pond, aren't we?
I like to think so.
Absolutely. Anything special that you're seeing from the HBCU markets or any other markets that you're connected with in Atlanta in terms of National Farmers Market Week activities?
Well, I will say that I am committed to visiting as many markets in Atlanta as I can next week. That's for sure. A lot of my market activity this summer has been connected to our local Slow Food chapter. I'm on the board there, and we've been doing some really amazing chef demonstrations at our farmers markets. And I think that Farmers Market Week is going to be an opportunity for us to really highlight that here. And that pairs very nicely. I spent some time, as you know, with Lenny Sorensen, whose work is featured on High on the Hog. When I was convening with the HBCUs and the 1890 schools earlier in July, early in the summer in July, and had a fantastic meal, really considered the origin and how the food kind of not only was grown, but prepared. So just having that cultural experience and that historical context was really magical. And so I'm excited to see, how that plays out in these chef demonstrations, particularly next week during Farmers Market Week.
Oh, excellent. We love seeing chefs active at markets. We've really seen in a lot of different parts of the country more action connecting chefs and restaurants with their local farmers market. I think we finally convinced them that that little extra bit of inconvenience of having to send somebody down to forage reaps such terrific benefits in terms of really, really fresh food and cooking in season and things. So it's lovely to see more of that happening.
Yes, indeed.
Absolutely. So the other thing that we want to touch base with you on to see if you're hearing rumbles of people that have activities and things planned is that this August is the 20th anniversary of National Black Business Month. And so I think it's an exciting year to make sure that we're all paying attention to that. We've got National Farmers Market Week this week, but that'll be done this coming weekend. And so it gives us several more weeks where we've got another theme that we can concentrate on. Do you have ideas on, or have you heard from people that are working to kind of put their Black farmers and their Black business owners, Black food makers from their markets front and center this month?
So we haven't had that conversation. We've been really, focused and head down around Farmers Market Week. But I'm so glad you're bringing this up because, well, first of all, I'm a Black business owner, so that's great. So thank you for showcasing me this month. But I also, was raised by a Black business owner, and actually both of my parents, own their own businesses. My grandparents own their own businesses. And so I think it is an excellent opportunity to think about not only, how we can raise awareness around the opportunities at farmers markets that vendors and farmers have, but also in general, like how can we really amplify, just the experiences and also the offerings that Black businesses offer in communities. So I think it's a great opportunity. I think our Juneteenth campaign gave a little bit of direction and as far as how you can partner with vendors and farmers and others who are central to your organization, as well as partners that are may or may not be a part of the market itself, but may be in alignment with the values of the market and really draw people in from that perspective. So. Yeah, I mean, I think that we could close out the summer in the same way that we started it, right? By really taking the opportunity to think about how these vendors and farmers and partners really contribute to the market and the communities that we all love.
Yeah, and it's a terrific opportunity to form better alliances with your local businesses. I know a lot of times there can be sensitivities from businesses around we're taking up their parking every Thursday afternoon or every Saturday morning. And
that's right.
Are we helping by bringing a lot of traffic to the neighborhood, or are we just aggravating people that can't find a place to park? Or, are we taking advantage of a community? So anything that we can do, we often encourage market managers and vendors and farmers to use those days, especially when you don't have a market, use your social media on those days to highlight the businesses around you and keep strengthening those alliances. So this month, let's do that, but let's concentrate on our Black-owned businesses in our communities. And it's a twofer. It's a lot of winning going on this month.
That's a really great idea. I mean, you have good ideas, Kat.
Thanks. I try. Well, I'm excited about it. I'm excited about all the things that are happening this month. And I hear you guys have some things up your sleeve coming up. So we'll be watching for more announcements this month on anything fun that's happening. And I will see you at least in Virginia, it sounds like, if not somewhere
right.
sooner. Thanks again for being with us today, Cedrina. It's always a pleasure to have you on as a guest. I think you're kind of our unofficial third co-host, aren't you, at this point?
Aw, that makes me feel special. Thanks for having me, Kat.
Excellent. Talk to you soon. Thanks for listening today. This episode, like all of them, is supported by Intense, the Farmers Market Conference, coming back to San Diego on March 10th through March 12th, 2025. People like you that attend that conference take online classes and use Farmers Market Pros for consulting projects, generate the income that supports the free content on Tent Talk, the Farmers Market podcast, and our online farmers market community 52 weeks a year. We can't wait to see you. Registration is now open at super early bird prices. This is the largest savings you'll ever have on Intense 2025. Find that conference button on our website at farmersmarketpros.com. Click tickets, and let's meet in San Diego.
Thanks for listening to Tent Talk today. Please leave us a review on your podcast app or wherever you listen to Tent Talk. Let us and others know how you're enjoying the podcast. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss the next episode of Tent Talk. Connect with fellow farmers market folks in our private Facebook group, the Farmers Market Pros Community, and follow us on Instagram at Farmers Market Pros. Find online education and other resources at farmersmarketpros.com. Tent Talk is brought to you by Farmers Market Pros, where passion meets profit. Tent Talk is hosted by Kat Fields White and Bridget Myers and produced by Leandra Hayes, with original music by David Mead. Tune in next week for another great episode.